Welcome to Nerd on Nerd with me, Jack Kempster.
And me, Liam Underwood. In this episode, we are going to be discussing The Division, a Tom Clancy game available on PlayStation 4 and probably other formats.
Yeah, Xbox One, PC.
We played it on PlayStation 4.
Yes, we did.
But before we get to that, it's time for my favourite segment, catching up with Jack and Liam.
Now, Liam, I have a question for you right before we start the catching up with. You sound a little bit depressed, buddy.
I'm good. I think
you're not sounding, 100% enthused. What's happening?
My throat hurts a little bit.
Yeah?
I don't know why.
You sick?
Possibly.
You got ill?
I don't think so. I don't know. It sounds weird in my head.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what that's all about. I think I'm lacking energy is the problem. I don't feel I have a lot of energy today.
You need to drink some coffee.
I don't like coffee.
You need to drink some tea.
I don't like hot drinks. I'll make it easy for you.
You know what? I don't like hot drinks either.
Then my advice is to not drink them.
I don't.
Well, there you go then. What is it about hot drinks that you don't like, out of curiosity?
I'm not sure. I've never really liked the taste of coffee or tea.
I find, I agree with you, but I also find on top of that, I never feel like I'm particularly thirst quenched after drinking a hot drink.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to drink, it will be because I'm thirsty. So
yes,
it seems weird to get a drink, and I'm like, well, this isn't having my desired outcome. Why would I keep drinking it?
Yeah, it's also too hot and it burns your mouth.
Yeah, and then you can't taste anything for the next half an hour.
Maybe we're not drinking it right.
I find that unlikely. I mean, it's probably hard to drink something wrong. Although,
exactly. If me and you agree on something, in this case, that hot drinks are not good,
yeah, that
usually means we're right if both of us agree.
I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say anytime you agree with me, I'm right. And then anytime
you agree with me, I'm right.
Anytime you don't agree with me, still most of the time I'm right.
Well, let's agree to disagree on that point. So what have you been up to, Liam?
I have been reading Preacher, Book 2.
Oh, yeah?
Now, regular listeners will know that in the last episode, we reviewed Preacher, Book 1. If you didn't hear that and you want to hear our thoughts, go give it a listen. We won't mind. But Preacher, Book 2, the thing with Preacher, right, is it's quite a big read, as we discussed, and it was quite a dense story. Not too much, but a lot was going on to the point where I felt if I had too long of a gap between book 1 and book 2, I'd really struggle to jump back into it because I'd forget what had happened.
Yeah.
So I wanted to just plough straight into book 2 and kind of keep going with the momentum. And I'll be honest, it's not as good as book 1. It's still fine, but where it's mostly different is book 1 had the 3 stories in it that we were discussing.
Yeah.
Book 2, it sticks to just one story throughout.
Oh, okay.
And the book is like maybe a little bit smaller than book 1, but it's still like that's a lot of pages to
that is a lot of pages
devote to one story.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I feel like 3 or 4 issues ago I was ready for them to start resolving this story, and it just feels like they've kind of been dragging their feet a little bit. It's not even that noticeable. It's just you get to a stage where like, right, I need this to get resolved now. Not because it's like amazing or anything, just because it's been going on long enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, still a fine read, just not as good as book 1.
So would you recommend that I read it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like I'm going to keep on with it. I'm going to read book 3 next. So maybe if you're on the fence, wait until I've read book 3, and then by that point I'll give you a definitive answer. Yes, it's worth committing to 2 more books, or, it's not strong enough to put that time in.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I've also been getting back into watching Smallville.
Oh, have you?
So what our listeners...
Smallville hit TV series that's super popular right now.
What our listeners might not know is that before we started this podcast, so we're going back a couple of months now.
More than a couple.
I was way into Smallville. Like, Superman was my jam, right? But then season 6 happened. And I won't go into spoilers because, yeah, it's old, but people might be curious. It's just season 6 kind of takes what is the best element of the show and just kind of benches it, almost. So the first half of season 6 introduces a little character called Oliver Queen.
Who's he?
Well, turns out he is Arrow.
Whoa, no, wrong.
What?
You're wrong, he's not Arrow.
Who is he?
He's the Green Arrow.
Okay. He's the Green Arrow.
Thank you.
Now, the thing is...
Well, that's a surprise to me, Liam.
Good. The first half of Season 6 deals with that, and I was bored with it. I didn't care. The second half, he fucks off back to Star City. So now we're getting back to... like they've taken the interest element back off the bench. So I'm like... It has taken me probably 3 or 4 months to get through the first half of Season 6. But now, in like the last couple of days, I've done, I think, 4 episodes. So I'm 100% back on board. All about Clark Kent, Lex Luthor, Chloe Sullivan, Lana Lang, I don't like so much, but I'm on board. And also, like something that you've been waiting for six seasons has just happened. And again, I don't want to give away spoilers, but oh my god, it's about time that happened.
Okay.
What have you been up to?
I've been watching TV too, Liam.
Oh, yeah?
It's just that I'm a bit more up-to-date and modern, so I've been watching the new DC series that are, new and not old.
So, like, Arrow?
And Flash.
And Legends of Tomorrow?
I haven't got to that yet. I'm watching them in
Supergirl.
chronological order.
Are you, though? Because I thought you hadn't watched Arrow.
I hadn't. So what I did was I got to a point in Arrow where I'd just seen like another bit of a crossover.
Yeah.
Because they cross Arrow and Flash crossover quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I decided, you know what? I need to catch up with Arrow.
For fuck's sake.
What?
Just does my head in.
Why?
You know why.
Just because you want to... No, but see, this is the thing, right? I don't complain when you haven't done what I want you to do.
Such as?
So leave me be. Get Steam.
It's not happening. And I've got perfectly valid reasons.
I'm not going to watch The Walking Dead till you get Steam.
You'll never watch The Walking Dead then.
And it'll be on your head.
The thing is, right, you want me to do something that I don't want to do. You don't not want to watch Walking Dead.
No, but I do want to watch Arrow and Flash, and I don't want to watch Walking Dead desperately enough to not do that.
That's a mistake.
No, it isn't. You aren't watching the Arrow or Flash, so you don't know. You're watching Smallville.
Yeah, and once I'm done with Smallville, then I will watch Arrow and Flash, and I will start watching them in chronological order, because I'm smart.
Technically, I watched them in chronological order.
I thought Arrow started before Flash.
Yeah, and I'm on series 3 of Arrow.
Okay.
Because I watched series 1 and 2 when they came out.
So why didn't you stick with them?
Because I was watching them when I lived with my parents, and then when I moved out, I sort of fell out of all the TV stuff that I was watching with my dad. So now I'm getting back into it.
Okay.
But yeah, so Arrow and Flash are really fucking good, and I have seen Smallville, and I think Arrow and Flash are much better.
Oh, probably.
That wasn't me trying to diss you for watching Smallville. I was just saying that as a...
Yeah, I want to watch Arrow and Flash.
Yeah, you just have a obsessive compulsive need to watch everything that's even remotely connected together in the order.
My thing with watching Smallville, it wasn't I didn't feel like I need to watch Smallville so I can watch those things. I just wanted to watch it because I was curious about it. But now I don't want to start another 3 shows and still have Smallville on the go.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's actually 4 shows, because I guess Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and that Legends of Tomorrow all kind of cross over, I think.
Yeah, they do.
So that's 4 shows.
There's also web miniseries.
Yeah, that's a lot to commit to when you're already watching a 10-season show.
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to finish Smallville first, and then I can kind of dive into it. Not because of my, it's connected, just because there's only so many hours in a day.
But you've got to admit, the things being connected, that is an issue you've had in the past.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong.
I don't want the listeners to think I'm just making that up about you.
Yeah, I will be watching Arrow and Flash and Supergirl and all that in chronological order.
I mean, you're the man that wouldn't let us watch, back when we were in the uni days, you made us all come round and watch Lupin the Third.
Yeah.
A live-action Japanese film.
Yeah.
Because to watch the rest of Studio Ghibli, the animated company, you had to have seen their live-action spin-off into a different series, which had its own set of films, so you had to watch all of them as well to make that movie make sense.
Yeah, I honestly, I've still never watched any of them.
Yeah, no, because we got to Lupin the Third and we were like, what is this film?
It didn't make any sense.
It doesn't. It's a bad film.
But that's just one of my quirks that the listeners probably love about me.
I mean, I don't know if they knew that about you.
Now they do. They'll love it.
You do, guys. You now know that about Liam. I've had to live with that knowledge for years.
That terrible secret.
Liam.
Yeah.
I've also been up to other stuff since we last recorded. Yeah, I went to visit my uni friend.
Oh, okay. How was that?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, what did you get up to?
Went clubbing.
Oh.
Played some board games.
What board games?
Played Batman Love Letter.
Did you like that?
Yeah, it was good. He won.
Of course.
He cheated.
So I asked Kat if we'd played it together.
Yeah.
And she said We hadn't played Batman Love Letter together, but we have played Batman Flux together.
I've definitely played Batman Love Letter with someone.
Well, it wasn't with us.
Yeah, fair enough.
But what I'm more excited for you to tell the listeners about is the other game we played.
Is it Camel Up?
Yeah.
That game is utter tripe.
Would you like to embellish on that?
Yeah. So, the aim of the game is to get the most money. You get money by putting little sort of bets on, either on who's going to win a round.
It's camel racing, by the way.
Yeah, camel racing.
That's kind of important.
I mean, the hint was Camel Up, I guess.
That wouldn't mean a camel racing to me.
Oh, okay. Well, you're betting on camel racing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you can bet on who's going to win a round, you can bet on who's going to win the game, which camel, and you can bet on which camel's going to lose the game.
Yeah.
The entire game is based on luck. Liam insists there's strategy.
There is an element of strategy. It's more luck than strategy, but there is an element.
The element of strategy that Liam is referring to is that if on the player before you's turn, they roll the dice and the camels move into a position where one is obviously going to win, on your turn you go, that camel's obviously going to win, so you bet on it.
Do you think it'd be different with more players?
Maybe, but even then... Because even then, what could happen is 3 people do their rolls, because there's not an obvious winner, and then the 4th person just goes, well, obviously that camel's won, so I'm going to pick that one to go first. Then it would just go, the next person goes, yeah, he's right, takes the next bet on that camel.
That's entirely possible, I guess.
But that doesn't feel like strategy. It feels like the game, like, to be fair, the game's probably not aimed at people our age. I feel like it's more aimed at kids.
Yeah, that would explain why Kat liked it so much.
I didn't say that, you did. But yeah, that was, you know.
Yeah, so kind of like, we unfortunately didn't have time to play Dead of Winter.
We didn't. We were going to play it before I left, but Liam informed me it was an hour-long game and I had half an hour till my train. 60
to 120 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. So it wasn't even like we might have time.
Yeah.
It was at the minimum, you're going to be half an hour late.
And that doesn't include us probably having to like...
Figure it out.
No, but like probably build stuff as well. Like you probably have to poke out the characters from the little cardboard inserts and stuff.
Yeah, like 100%.
So, we also played some Dungeons and Dragons.
We did.
How was that for you?
I'm excited about it. Are we telling people that we recorded it?
Yeah, I'm setting this up so you can inform them.
Yeah, we played Dungeons and Dragons, and we did a video recording of the session.
I haven't checked yet to see like how it came out, so it could be that the quality is garbage. But if it isn't, we'll be putting that on our YouTube channel, along with our other episodes, which are going to go on there when I have time.
Yes, we'll send out a link to the YouTube channel because...
We'll post it on our Facebook page because I don't think enough people are using that.
We'll also tweet it.
No, we'll just post it on the Facebook page. No, well, that's
ridiculous because no one uses Facebook.
Maybe now they will. Now they know there's exclusive content on there.
No, that's not how it works, Liam.
Yeah.
Right, well, I'm going to tweet out the YouTube link.
I want it to be like, if you're a true fan of Nerd on Nerd, then you'll know these things because you will...
But why would we try and limit ourselves to just our true fans? Why aren't we trying to get new people to join us as well?
I am with the Twitter stuff, but it's just a lot of faff.
Yeah, but the YouTube channel is like a whole other thing of content that we're going to start doing.
I like the idea that people find us on YouTube and have no idea the fact that we have any other presence elsewhere. And then one day they discover it and they're like, oh my god.
Situations where I'm just going to overrule you on your weird, let's try and hide the YouTube channel on our Facebook page that no one uses.
But maybe they will start using it if they know it's...
They won't, Liam, because it's Facebook. And just by default, no one is using that.
Mark uses it.
I apologise, Mark. You do use it. Yeah. And I do post links there for you.
It's literally just for him as well.
It is, I know. That's why there's no other content on our Facebook page.
No. To be fair, there's not a whole lot of new content on our Twitter either.
Whose fault's that?
Yours.
Oh, who came up with the fun idea to do... here you go, listeners. Here's another bit of what we did this weekend. We had a poll on our Twitter that some of you noticed. And we know some of you noticed because I've got the results right here.
Yes.
We did a little poll.
Yes.
To find out... I don't remember how we got to this, Liam. I don't remember why this was a thing. But we were trying to figure out what the sexiest word is. Salami or sausage.
Now just listen to the sounds of those words, right? Just listen, okay? Salami.
That wasn't the question. Shh. You're trying to make it different than it is.
Listen to the words, right? Salami. Or sausage. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? It's an open and shut case.
Yeah, it 100% is, because the results came back and it was 78% said sausage and 22% said salami.
Don't understand it. There's so much more intoxication around the word salami than sausage. There's that exotic feel to salami. Sausage, go down the pub and get a sausage.
Yeah, I feel like you just what the listeners are going to think is that you don't know the connotation of sausage.
Penis?
Yes.
Yeah, why can't you have a sexy
Inherently,
salami?
therefore, it is the sexier word because it has a sexual meaning.
What about salami?
No one says salami.
Oh, I disagree.
No one goes, it was a real salami party. I might start saying that. That's pretty good.
It sounds sexier than sausage, doesn't it?
No, not because of that. Just because it sounds silly.
It sounds sexier.
It doesn't.
I think if you were to kind of dress up those two words, salami would be the one that would be in like the slinky lingerie, and sausage would be in like overalls.
Sausage would be in lederhosen.
It wouldn't dress sexy, would it?
Lederhosen can be sexy.
Not the way this sausage is wearing it.
Well.
Anyway, so yeah, the Twitter stuff is going well. We've got like 900 followers or something now. Are you one of them? If not, why not? Give us a follow, Nerd on Nerd on Twitter.
If you haven't been following on Twitter, you've missed classics like Liam dropping a casserole.
And other things that have happened.
But that is my favourite one.
Yeah. So you had a good weekend then, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, I did. I had an enjoyable weekend. You?
Yeah, it's good. And your train back was stress-free?
Yeah, I just watched episodes of The Flash.
Cool. Well, normally when you get the train back, there's always like problems.
This is the first time in the last, I think 3 times I've been down to see you, that on the way back there haven't been work, happening on the rails.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
I've done stuff like I've had to get trains from Havant to Guildford before. No, buses. Replacement bus services.
Yeah. It's been a nightmare.
It's been insane.
It's a good job that CME is so good it makes it all worthwhile.
That's why I do it like once every 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. But also, so we can give our lovely listeners more top quality content.
Yep.
There's some more stuff that I did.
Go on.
I went to the cinema.
This is Liam's real favourite part of the show because he gets to talk about himself and it's just his segment and he calls it Liam Went to the Cinema.
Yeah.
Go on.
This is the bit that people look forward to.
This is the bit where I imagine most of our listeners pop out their headphones.
No, this is the bit where they're like, I want to go to the cinema this week. I know these stuff's on. I wonder what Liam thought of it before I go and spend my hard-earned cash.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's why I do it, to kind of help people in making smart choices with their money.
Okay, well, I'm just going to tune out. You tell everyone about the films you saw.
Alright, so Liam went to the cinema, and this is his spoiler-free reviews of the films that he saw at that cinema that he went to.
Smooth. It's going smoothly so far.
This is what happens when you leave it up to me. It all goes to pot. The first film I went to see was Eye in the Sky. Now, listeners, welcome to the Liam section. In the past, we have discussed audience members in the cinema and their general kind of annoying habits and qualities, if you will. I'm afraid to say I went to the cinema 3 times in the last 2 weeks, or since we last took whatever. 3 times. 2 of those times, I had negative experiences with cinema goers.
Really?
Yeah. That's not good numbers.
No, that's bad.
That is bad. I can kind of tolerate it because I have an unlimited card, so I can kind of trick myself into thinking I'm going for free, even though I had to pay for the unlimited card.
Yeah.
If I was actually paying 10 quid a pop to go and see these films, and I was having these experiences, I would be fucking livid.
Go on, so what did they actually do? What was the annoyance?
We get to the cinema, okay? This is before we've seen the film.
Yep.
We get there, there's loads of time, we're smart, we've got popcorn, we've got Ice Blast, Tango Ice Blast, they're lovely. We sit down, we watch the trailers. The movie starts. At this point, an older couple come in, and even though the movie's going, I can hear them on the stairs saying, "We are row E," I think it was, which was the row we were in. And the way my cinema works is it has stairs down the middle, so it's a 50-50 chance, because we're on the aisle, it's a 50-50 chance we'll have to get up and let them go. So I'm trying to pay attention to the movie, but also out of the corner of my eye, I'm trying to just keep an eye to see if they're trying to get into where I am, so I can get up and let them out.
Yeah.
So I hear them say, "We're row E." I don't hear them say what part, so I think they start going down the other way, so I'm like, well, I can relax. But no, they come my way. So I go to get up, to get out, I get halfway up, and they already start coming into the aisle. So I'm now half standing. I feel awkward because I'm blocking the person behind me. If they'd just given me another 10 seconds, I would have stood up fully, got out of my seat, and stood in the aisle, not blocking anyone, so they could have got in a lot easier. Not only do they do that, but if you're late to a film or something, the normal way to walk down an aisle would be to kind of sidestep.
Yeah, you sidle along.
Yeah. It's like that classic scene in Fight Club where he asked, do I give you the arse or the crotch?
Yeah.
That was a moot point for this couple, because they just walk as if it's a normal day. So my legs get trapped in the seat. Now, obviously, Kat's next to me as well, because I'm stuck. She can't also get out to let them in, which she would have done. So she's trapped. They walk through. Then they knock over her entire drink, which is in a cup holder. I don't even know how they managed to do this.
Yeah, that's impressive.
While the film is still on, it goes all over her bag and coat, and she goes, "You've just knocked over my drink." And their response, "Oh, sorry." Not, "Oh, I'll get you another one." Like, just real, like, entitled attitude. Like, didn't give a shit. Just... So I was wound up. Kat went, and I was holding the popcorn, so I was kind of trapped in my seat. And she was gone a while, because she was trying to get some paper towels or something to, like, save her bag and coat.
Yeah.
And it was at the point where I was like, I might just leave and find her and say, let's come back to the latest showing, because I don't know if I can enjoy this. I'm so on edge just by this scenario I find myself in.
Yeah.
I just like that just fucking attitude of them really got to me. And equally, the film is on, so I don't feel like I can just turn around to them and be like, hey, you're going to get another drink? Because that's a dick thing for me to do, to then start disrupting everyone else that's trying to watch the movie.
Yeah.
So Kat comes back just as I've put the popcorn down to get up and leave, so I have to pick it back up. I say to her 3 times, should we leave? She says, no, I want to stay and enjoy it. So, obviously, we were celebrating her driving passing, so we stayed. Not only that, at one point, the woman... Now, this is only an hour and 40 movie, okay? It's not a long movie. But halfway through, the woman has to get out to go for a piss. Now, I'm sorry. If you can't hold your urine for an hour and 40 minutes, maybe the cinema isn't for you.
See, now, I agree with you on all the other points, but you're not allowed to have a go at people who need to go to the toilet.
I just think go before you start the film.
Yeah, but even then, there are people that I've been in the situation where I've gone before a film, got halfway through a film and been like, shit, I have to go piss.
I just feel like I wouldn't have minded.
I don't think I get that you were annoyed with them. I think that's what it is.
I was
annoyed
annoyed
with them anyway.
Yeah, and that didn't help.
They then went to the toilet.
Yes,
but in
exactly.
reality, you can't complain.
No.
Like if they had only done the toilet thing.
Oh, I would have been fine.
Have been that annoyed. Yeah, exactly.
I would have been fine.
But I get you. They had pissed you off, so it would just made it worse that they then did another thing.
Exactly. That's where I'm coming from with it. Now, here's the thing though. Like, it was a Friday night showing, okay, and it was like, I don't know, 6 o'clock or something. So it's a pretty prime time, really. If you are, let's say, different to other people, yeah, let's say older than them, for example.
I'm letting you dig this hole.
Yeah. Just
a point here, viewers. The opinions that Liam expresses on this show are not mine, nor are they Nerd on Nerds.
Okay, I'm just saying, right? If you're of the older variety, there are other screenings available.
No.
That might be more suitable to you.
Immediately, this is a terrible point.
Well, no, there are senior screenings.
Yeah, but no, Liam, no.
Maybe 6 o'clock on a Friday night. That's not the time for you to go to the cinema.
They hit it at party time, 6:30 on a Saturday. Liam, if you're different in that, you're fairly young, late 20s, there are also showings that are usually later than 6:30.
We wanted food.
Yeah, see? I feel like you can't complain if you go at 6:30, which is actually prime time.
But, here's the thing, though. There are specifically senior screenings. They're called senior screenings. Or senior friendly.
They're not for just... It's not so that all the seniors don't go to other showings.
It should be.
No, it shouldn't, because that's ridiculous, and that's literally discrimination.
If there was a, mid to late 20s screening, I would go to it.
No, you wouldn't.
It depends when.
Exactly.
If it was 6 o'clock on a Friday,
people that are our age annoy you more than older people.
That is true. Older people generally are lovely.
Exactly. You should have gone to a senior showing.
Just this couple were infuriating. Anyway,
I do agree with you. They sound like they were a nightmare.
They were. I just can't believe they didn't even offer to get another drink. Like that's what's I think the real the worst of it.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do. Like if you're in any other scenario, let's say you're in a pub and you knock over someone's drink, you offer to get them another one.
Yes.
It's, I guess as well, like being British, like manners and being polite is important.
Well, it's important everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So I also went to see Criminal.
Okay.
Essentially, Ryan Reynolds is a CIA agent, and he has this important information, and he gets killed. So they put his memories into a bad convict played by Kevin Costner.
I think I've seen the trailer for this.
Yeah, what's interesting is there was essentially another movie very similar to this setup called Selfless that came out last year.
Oh, okay.
Where, again, it was Ryan Reynolds, again, having his memory put into someone else, or someone was having their memory put into him.
Oh, right.
It's very odd, but one of these little quirky coincidences that you sometimes get with cinema. And essentially, Kevin Costner, who he's described as this, like, real tough convict who doesn't know emotion and doesn't understand how society works, he kind of gets softened by Ryan Reynolds' feelings towards his family.
Yeah.
And he has to, like, figure out where Ryan Reynolds has kind of hidden this person who, in the wrong hands, could kind of cause the end of the world, because he has, like, the codes to nuclear missiles and stuff. He's, like, one of these hacker people.
Okay.
Real average, 2 out of 5. Would not recommend, to be honest. In that movie, I had no incidences with other audience members. Everyone was delightful.
Good, I'm glad.
The last movie I went to see, I ended up seeing this movie 1 1/3 times.
Right.
So that gives you an idea of how awful this experience was.
I mean, it doesn't, because that doesn't make any sense to me, but go on, carry on and explain whatever.
I went to see The Jungle Book.
Yep.
New movie by Jon Favreau. Directed by Jon Favreau, so the nerds out there will know he directed the first Iron Man movie. So he directed The Jungle Book, which is a kind of live-action retelling of not even the Disney book, the Rudyard Kipling stories.
Yeah.
Obviously, they use a lot of CGI animals and stuff, because you can't have a kid running around with tigers and shit. That's mental. I don't know if you noticed, but it's actually pretty mental to put like a person near a tiger for a movie without any protection. But it would
look a lot better.
I disagree. The animals in Jungle Book looked really good. The only one that looked a little bit ropey was Car, the snake.
I feel like snakes are hard to do in CGI. I don't know why.
Yeah, and equally, like, bear in mind, like, this is a very mystically snake that, like, hypnotises people as well, which adds another layer to it, being difficult. But yeah, The Jungle Book, I'll do the movie first, again, and then I'll do my grievances, because I imagine people are more interested in my thoughts on the movie than my grievances, but I might be wrong. Who knows? Who cares?
You're wrong for me.
No spoilers. I thought it was really good. The voice acting was great. I was having a discussion with Kat about this afterwards. She hasn't seen it, but she was saying she thinks she's struggled with such recognisable voices doing the animals, because you have, like, Bill Murray doing Baloo, for example.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley does Bagheera, the panther thing.
It's a panther, yeah.
Yep, and you've got Idris Elba doing Shere Khan, the tiger. Lupita Nyong'o, who we've discussed before, she does like a female wolf who kind of considers Mowgli like one of her pack and has been raising him for a while.
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson does Car, the snake, and Christopher Walken.
Wasn't Car a dude?
Nah. Well, it might be in the original, but in this one it's Scarlett Johansson.
I feel like in the Disney film it might have been.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. No, it's not like he gets his dick out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Christopher Walken does King Louis.
Does he sound like Christopher Walken when he does it?
Yeah.
Good.
And what's even better is he sings King Louis' song.
I was going to ask you if they have the songs in there.
They have the songs. Now, I would say the songs, they're not quite as kind of in your face as it is in the Disney movie.
Oh, so imagine they aren't as good as in the Disney movie, because Disney have got songs in films down to a T.
Exactly. But it is, again, I think it works better for people like us who are familiar with the Disney movie as like a throwback to it, more so than like, here's a song to enjoy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just delightful. Really enjoyed it. The kid that played Mowgli, I don't know his name, but he, considering as well, like, he must have been acting against a lot of like green or blue screen stuff. He did a phenomenal job. So the songs were good, the animation, all that stuff was good. The story, I mean, you know what the story is. Still, what it does is it kind of, and this is a complaint, I guess, against it from some people I've seen. Some people have said it isn't too kind of child friendly. Like, it's not too kiddie, right?
Right, yeah.
And I get that. Like, it isn't, say, like Zootopia, for example. I haven't seen it, but that's what I'm thinking when someone says kiddie. Like, animated, very bright colours in your face. This, it's more focused on the story than on being kind of the next movie that kids are gonna be screaming about, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. 4 out of 5. Would really recommend. Now,
I'm seeing it tomorrow.
I'm really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on it in our next episode, where we can talk about Jack going to the cinema and his spoiler-free reviews of the films that he saw at the cinema.
Yay.
So now my grievances.
Go on.
Oh, man. I initially started off seeing it in a 2D screening. 5:10 on a Sunday.
Yep.
Now, it would be unreasonable to expect there to be no children in that showing.
Yes.
So I fully was prepared for there to be kids. But I think there's an age that children get to when they're ready for the cinema. And by that I mean they can just sit still for like 2 hours. I don't mind if they ask their parents questions every now and again, but like they can at least stay in their seat for 2 hours, yeah?
Yeah.
There's also screenings for juniors. And I feel like those screenings are for the kids that aren't quite there yet and want to run up and down the aisles and stuff.
Yep, that's fair.
This was not a junior screening. Just like to put that out there. So it starts, and there's a woman with 2 kids that look way too young to be at this movie. And I know it's a PG, but they just look too young to be able to appreciate the cinema, you know? And
how old, if you had to guess?
5.
Okay.
I think there was a kid that was maybe 4, and a girl that was probably 5, maybe 6.
Okay.
More likely 5. And I feel like, you know, if you're going at 5:10 on a Sunday, maybe they should have been in bed.
No.
Maybe. Not in bed, but bearing in mind, that's when it starts. You got half an hour of trailers, then the movie itself is an hour and 45 minutes, okay? So, it's not finished until gone 7.
Yeah, but that's not that late, I don't think.
Okay. So, they were in front of me as I got to the door, and I got there, kind of after the adverts, but just as the trailers were starting. So, already I was like they were real, like, the kid wanted to go in a different screening and was like not listening to his mum, and they were both yelling a lot, and I was like, I really hope these kids aren't sat anywhere near me.
Yeah.
They were sat directly in front of me.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. And they were just like crawling all over the seats. They couldn't sit down. What was worse, though, is the mum just got on her phone.
Really?
Yeah. Just was on her phone. Wasn't like talking on it, but was just playing on it. Hadn't turned the brightness down.
Yeah, no, I hate... Even if you've got the brightness down, you aren't allowed on your phone in the cinema.
Yeah. So as the trailers were on, the mum asks the kids to pose and then takes a picture of them with the flash on. So this is the level of idiocy I'm having to deal with. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's an older couple next to me. About 10 minutes into the movie, they get up, and I thought they were going to leave, but like the exit door is down the stairs and out. They go up the stairs and just disappear into the back of the cinema.
Yeah, so they just moved.
Yeah, I imagine they saw like some empty seats and were like, we're out of here.
Yeah.
Like, fair play. The kids are going mental. I'm getting 10-15 minutes in. Now, bear in mind, this starts at 5:10. I know there's an IMAX 3D showing at 6. I wasn't that fussed about seeing it in 3D, personally. But, it you know. So they're going crazy. Then another kid comes down, right, and starts talking to them. And they know each other. Then a woman comes in, like 15 minutes after the movie has started, and starts talking to the mum of these 2 kids in front of me.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then a guy comes down with another kid holding his hand, and he starts talking, and it was like the cinema was being overrun by this family. So it was just infuriating. And then 2 of the kids sit in the 2 empty seats next to me that the old couple left. And it was at that point where I was like, I'm out. I'm done.
What you should have done, right?
Yeah.
So this is... I don't know what you did, but I assume you didn't do what I'm about to suggest.
Okay.
Which is... I can tell from what you said earlier that you went to the IMAX showing. Yeah?
Yep.
Right. What you should have done, though, is you should have done that, 100%.
Yep.
But you also should have gone and got a member of staff.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
So what I did, I got up at my seat. We were like half an hour into the movie, and despite all of the annoyances that were going on, I was still enjoying the film, which is why I was like, if I hadn't have been enjoying it, I wouldn't have bothered going to the IMAX.
Yeah.
So I came out, I went up to member of staff, and I went, look, there's a woman in there. She hasn't been off her phone since the movie started. She might be recording it for all I know. She's in row G, and she's got 2 kids who, at one point, right, got off of their seats and just started hopping down the stairs down the middle of the cinema.
Yeah.
They hopped all the way to the bottom, so it disappeared for a while. The mum kind of finally managed to draw her eyes away from her phone, looked up, realised they weren't there, got up, went down, found them, dragged them back up and went, look, if you don't start behaving, I'll take you home. And at that point, I felt it was pretty obvious that the kids didn't want to be there.
Yeah, so she should have just taken them home.
Yeah, but she just sat back down, And then, all of the other madness started happening. And it was just like, just so inconsiderate to all of the other people that were there.
Yeah, that is ridiculously rude.
So yeah, I went to a member of staff, I sort of called them out. The issue is, staff members in cinemas just don't give a shit. So he was like, oh, no worries, we'll refund your ticket and, use your card to get the IMAX stuff and that. But, like, I'm sure nothing was done.
Yeah, I don't know, though. They might have, you can always hope that someone went in and spoke to them, even if they didn't do anything major.
Yeah, you would hope. But, I mean, I'm also surprised that more people weren't bothered in the screening. It seemed to just be me getting really wound up by it.
But you were right next to it, so it was worse for you.
But they were next to people as well, and people would have been in front of them, and it was very odd. It was a very, like I said, if it was a movie for juniors screening, 100% would have expected it.
Yeah.
But a normal...
Also would have been weird if you'd gone to a junior
100%.
screening.
But, a normal 5:10 Sunday... Like, what parents need to realise is the cinema is not a babysitter. You still need to make sure that your kids can behave. And if they can't, I'm sorry... Maybe normal screenings aren't for you.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And this, again, I'm not having a go at the kids at all. The kids are just doing what a 4 or 5-year-old would do in that scenario. My grievance is entirely lie with the mum. Yeah. Once the kids were hopping up and down the aisle, the mum should have been like, right, we're going home.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not surprised that the kids acted that way, because kids kind of copy, right? So if the mum isn't respecting, the rules of the cinema, in that when the movie starts, you shut off your fucking phone and you pay attention to it, of course the kids are going to be behaving like that. Because they're going to look at the mum and be like, well, she's not watching this. Why should we be watching this?
You say that, but my dad used to fall asleep in the cinema all the time.
Yeah, but you're not going to look at it and be like, oh yeah, it must be sleepy time now.
I don't even nap. So I wonder if it's the opposite happened to me. My dad fell asleep so much in cinemas and stuff that I'm now paranoid about sleep.
Possibly. But do you think if he'd been on his phone, you might be like, oh, this isn't something that I need to be paying attention to and behaving in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You lead by example.
No, I 100% agree with you. I was just making a point about... I was just being funny. What I was doing there, Liam, was I was going for comedy.
Oh, right.
I did one of our classic Jack and Liam bits.
I'm too angry.
It's my favourite part of the show. Jack tries to be funny and Liam gets angry.
Liam, the red mist descends and he just can't see the comedy through the anger. So, yeah, but, to be honest, so I saw it 1 1/3 times because I saw, a good half hour of it, which... I was okay with rewatching that half hour, and the IMAX 3D, it was pretty, it was nice. The 3D was unnecessary, but when isn't it?
Well, me and you disagree on 3D.
Well, no, I like it when the movie has kind of got it in mind and is made with it in mind, like Gravity, perfect example. Avatar, not a good movie, but the 3D worked really well in it.
But what do you mean by has it in mind?
When the movie is... So, like Gravity, right? Yeah. They constructed that movie knowing it was going to be in 3D. So they deliberately shot it in a way that helps emphasise the 3D.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's not slapped on at the end, or
yes,
it's like Gravity. You can definitely watch it without 3D, but I think you get something extra from it when you watch it in 3D.
Yeah, definitely.
There are very few movies like that.
That's true. That's fair.
Take for example, Batman vs Superman. I never saw it in 3D, and I really didn't feel the need to. I don't think that would have.
I did
added
see it
anything.
in 3D.
Didn't add anything to it, did it?
It's hard to tell.
I mean,
my brain had died halfway through that film.
Yeah, a third dimension doesn't give your characters depth.
Whoa.
So,
Look at that, words of wisdom from Liam.
So yeah, the 3D was unnecessary, but it was fun. And the other thing is, because it's only one IMAX screen at my cinema, if they've got the option of doing it in 3D, you can only see it in IMAX 3D, which is a bit of a bugger. I much prefer seeing 2D IMAX movies.
Yeah.
But it going into... So... That started at 6 o'clock, right? There again, it wasn't packed. There was a few families there. They had kids there, but these kids were 8, 10 years old. These were the sort of kids I was expecting to find on a Sunday evening at Jungle Book. And they sat down, they shut up, they watched the movie. I don't know if they enjoyed it. It would be weird if I'd asked.
It would have been weird, yeah.
They weren't fucking running up and down the aisles on, I think. So
yeah, I think you had bad luck and got a bad family.
That's entirely what it was. But it's such a shame that family felt entitled to ruin that experience for... Again, if I'd have paid £10 to see that, I would have been fucking livid.
Yep.
So, that's me going to the cinema this week. Oh, nerd news. Jesus, let's get on with this.
Yeah, that's... I'd like to point out this has been your fault this week.
Yep. But it was your fault last week, so that's equal.
Was it?
Yeah.
I kept forgetting stuff.
Yeah. Nerd news. What's been happening in the
news.
world of nerd? Jack Kempster. Nerd.
Oh, well, Liam, I had stuff, but I've sort of lain down and I'm having a little nap, so I've sort of forgotten it all.
Okay, so let me start then.
No, I'm just joking. X-Men Apocalypse, the final trailer came out. Liam's not happy. I don't mind. The trailer was okay. I'm not like hugely excited about this film, but I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer that came out before this a couple of times now, because they show it in the cinema before movies. You know, like they tend to do with trailers.
Yeah.
I'm not excited for the movie, but I quite like the way that trailer's been put together with the music and everything.
Yeah.
This one just felt like any bog standard trailer. I honestly would have been perfectly content with never seeing it. I think it gave away something that I didn't really need it to give away. It just showed a lot of people screaming. I didn't need to see it. Like, my excitement levels after seeing this trailer have probably gone down instead of up, and that is...
Well, that seems ridiculous.
That is the opposite of what a trailer should do.
I feel like a lot of people are going to disagree with you on that point.
What is exciting about this trailer?
Nothing, but I feel like it hasn't lowered my level of excitement.
But if it hasn't risen it either, then it was
hard,
pointless.
It's hard for a trailer to do that to me, get me less excited about a film, unless it's like all the trailers have been pointing to like an action-packed film, and then they do a final trailer that reveals that it's actually a film about two people talking in a room.
No, but I guess also you got to bear in mind, like I've come to this movie being very indifferent about it. Like, I'll go and see it, but I'm not excited.
Whereas, I'm not like crazy excited about it.
Yeah, but
I just liked the other films, and I'm hoping this one.
I like the other films too. First Class is a really good movie. X-Men 2 is one of the better comic movies made, in my opinion.
Well, that's insane.
Really?
Well, X-Men X2 is in X2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the better comic book movies made.
No.
Well.
Not at this point. Not with all the other comic book films we've had.
I'd still give it a solid 4 out of 5.
Yeah, no, it's a good film. I'm just saying I don't think it's, And
also bearing in mind it did come before, like, the Iron Man
but
kind of resurgence.
That doesn't give it a bonus to being... You said it was one of the best comic book movies of all time. Just because it's old doesn't make it better.
No, but it's 4 out of 5. Iron Man, 4 out of 5.
I'm not disagreeing with you on the rating. I'm saying it's a good film. I'm just saying I don't think it's one of the best comic book movies.
I'd probably put it in my top 20.
But I mean, that's fine. That's not too high.
But you consider how many comic book movies there are.
I don't think there's
400.
400?
Feels like it. I'd say you could probably do... There's probably 100 at this point.
Yeah, but I think most of the ones that came before the new batch of comic book movies were shit.
What?
Most of the ones that came before Marvel and DC doing their 2 new universes.
So 2008.
Yeah, I think most of the ones before that.
Which also had Dark Knight, don't forget. I think you need to throw in Chris Nolan there as well.
That's fine, yeah. So that's why I said most.
Yep.
I didn't say all, I said most.
Yep.
Most of them were shit. I think that's fair to say.
So X-Men?
What are you saying now? I'm very confused by what point you're trying to make.
What did you think of the first X-Men movie?
Good, I enjoyed it.
Which came before... This came in the period where you said most of shit.
I'd just like to point out, the key word to the sentence I said was most of the movies that came
I'm
before
just
the new
trying
batch were shit.
I am trying to get a feel for what movies from that period...
So most of the old Batman films, not that good.
Ooh.
Most of them.
Okay.
Again, keyword being most.
Yeah, that's like your kind of cop-out word.
Right, sure. No, it's not a cop-out, Liam. It's to stop people like you, who, if someone tries to make a reasonable point, I think the newer comic book movies are better than the older ones. So to get that across, I say most of the old ones, because I know there are good ones, like, as you say, I really liked Chris Nolan's Batman trilogy.
Yeah.
I liked all 3 of them.
But what I'm just trying to get a feel for your view on the X-Men franchise. So the first X-Men movie you liked.
Yes.
X2.
I liked.
X3.
Rubbish.
X Origins Wolverine.
Rubbish.
X First Class.
I liked.
The Wolverine.
Is that the X Origins Wolverine 2 that's not really called that?
It's the one where he's in Japan and stuff.
I saw half of it and the cinema broke and I never saw the end. But I enjoyed the bit I did see.
X Days of Future Past.
I liked.
Have I missed any?
But, see, X First Class and X Days of Future Past, I put in this new batch.
Yeah, no, I see that. I mean, even the Wolverine would fit in that new batch, to be honest.
Yeah, technically it is, yeah. And again, most of the movies in the new batch are really good.
Not all.
But X Origin is not. And Green Lantern isn't, but that's not in the new batch either. But that's what I mean. There are films like Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And the original not even just the original, like Fantastic.
Yeah. The one with Jessica Alba in.
Yeah. Like, those aren't good films.
What about a Spider-Man trilogy? Because that would come in that original
The
kind
Spider-Man
of
trilogy
batch.
was good for the first one.
Yeah.
Good for the second one.
Yeah.
Then they fucked it up with the third one.
Okay. So I think one of the other things that I like about X2 is it's one of the few instances where I think a sequel is better than the first.
What happens in X2 specifically?
Magneto.
Magneto's in the first one too.
Yeah, he's not as good though, is he?
No, I'm saying to help me remember like what happens in X2.
So X2 does kind of a bit more focus on Wolverine because he's kind of a bit, not a bit player, but like in the first X-Men movie, Wolverine at that stage I'd say isn't really like a main focus. He's one of them, but not the main one. Whereas in all of the ones afterwards that he's in, he is the focus.
Yeah, that's fair.
So X2 is more about him. I believe you start getting little glimpses into his backstory of how he was made and stuff. X2, I think, is the one with Magneto. Is that where he destroys the Golden Gate Bridge?
Possibly.
It's been a few years since I've seen it, I'll be honest.
I can remember the stories of the first one really well.
What's that one then?
That's the one where Magneto creates a serum that turns people into mutants. Mm-hmm. He kidnaps that senator and turns him into like a water-based human being who dissolves on the beach.
Yeah.
It's got Sabretooth. It's got Wolverine fighting in a cage match at the beginning.
Yeah.
Sabretooth fucks up him and Rogue.
So X2 is it has Colonel William Stryker, who...
That's right, and they go back to the like wintry base place.
Yes.
And it's got that's the one that's got the dude, his son, who's had his head cut open and he's been messed with.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, cool, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're both really good, X1 and 2.
Yeah, it's a shame about X3.
I don't know which one's better. Yeah, X3 is terrible.
So did you know, and I'm sure you did, I'm sure this is why you relate so well to them, but did you know that the X-Men movies tend to be seen as a kind of allegorical...
Not just the X-Men movies, also the X-Men comic books.
Yeah. There's that allegory of them being like... it's like a coming out story almost. It's allegorical for homosexuality.
Yeah, is what one of the like theories of it. But again, that's one of those things where when people put forward things like that, I'm fine. Like, I think it totally could be, and it totally can be, and that can have been what the writers were talking about, or they could have been trying to get that point across. Mm-hmm. But it annoys me when people bring up stuff like that based on the fact that I'm like, but that's not all the film is. Like, I feel like when people do that, it takes away a lot from a film because it feels like...
Do you not feel it adds to it?
No, because I think it's taking away from the fact that, I don't know, it feels like if you turn a film into just a point, like, unless the film, like, because there are films where the point of it is they're trying to make a stand and be like, this is wrong, this is right. This is X-Men.
Yeah.
Like, I think the crowd you're getting going to X-Men, I don't think it's going to be a bunch of homophobes who are going there and then are going, this film's made me think about things, and yeah, they're right. Homosexuality's fine. Like, I think the people went to it, probably went, afterwards when people go, oh, that could have been an allegory to homosexuality, they were probably going, right, I really like the man with the frog tongue. Like, I don't think they're coming out of it and having deep thoughts about homosexuality.
But do you not think it could be helpful for maybe if a teenager was to go and see it who was kind of...
Yeah, but see, that's my thing. I'm not talking about whether it's helpful to an individual person having those experiences. I'm not saying it's an issue. I'm just saying it annoys me when people make it a thing. Like, it's fine if someone goes to that film and does take away positive stuff from it. That's good. I'm glad. I don't like it when that becomes the focus. Yeah,
I don't think it ever is the focus.
It's not, but I don't think it adds to it, people bringing that up particularly.
I think it does. There's a really good scene in it.
What does it add to it?
Another layer to appreciate the movie with. So there's a good scene, right, where there is essentially a coming out scene in X2 where there's a kid who has mutant powers. Possibly, yeah.
Yes,
he sits down with his parents and explains to them that he's a mutant. And that one scene, you can entirely read that as a coming out scene. And I'm fairly certain that the director said he intended it to be that way as well. I think it's one of the reasons why Ian McKellen agreed to play Magneto, because of those kind of undercurrent messages.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that detracts from the film.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it adds to it.
See, I don't know, but it doesn't add to my enjoyment of a film.
Okay.
Like, any subtle message like that
goes straight over your head.
At the end of a film. No, I'm just not coming out at the end of a film and saying, I'm so glad that they dealt with real issues that are affecting everyone. Like, that's not why I'm going to films about mutant superheroes. I'm going to them because I'm like, I really wish that I lived in a world where I had mutant powers. Yeah, I just really like... I think it was a good... I think that X3 let down the X-Men franchise, and it could have ended there, or it could have rebooted, and instead they were like, we're going to change it, we're going to sort of pretend X3 didn't happen.
Do Origins Wolverine, really shoot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, and then go, we're going to ignore that one too. But see, I'm glad they have, because it's done, because I think if you keep rebooting stuff so quickly...
Yeah, it's annoying.
People get bored of it very quickly.
Hello,
or just
Spider-Man.
It's rebooting. Yeah, exactly. Spider-Man is the best example.
Yes.
Like, whereas X-Men, instead of rebooting, they just went, okay, well, we'll look at a different timeline. We'll still have the old characters in it. Like, in Days of Future Past, you've still got the same...
Yeah, I liked that, like, how they combined those two.
Yes, I think that was really good.
Yeah. Also, it had a lot of Ellen Page, so ding dong.
Exactly, which we're both massive fans of Ellen Page.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm looking forward to Apocalypse. I hope they do it well.
I'm sure it will. At this stage, I feel like comic book movies have got to a stage where they're so formulaic that if you play it safe, you can do a generally entertaining movie.
But I don't think X-Men are playing it safe.
It doesn't feel massively different to anything they've done in the past from the trailers.
But then we're going to have the same falling out about me and you on what formulaic is, because I think you can say anything's formulaic. I think you...
No, because, okay, here we go. Days of Future Past, right? What that did differently, like you said, is it brought all of the old and new cast together.
Yeah.
What is Apocalypse doing different?
No, so that's what... No, so I'm saying... Right, so my first point would be you can't base whether something's going to be formulaic on the trailers you've seen. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, we'd have had a very different discussion about Batman vs Superman, because I would have also loved it, and it would have been a huge... If it was all just based on what we saw in the trailers, me and you would have been totally on board. We both would have loved that film, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm saying you can't judge this film based on its trailer. I'm saying from past experience, we've seen them not be formulaic with the X-Men franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Like even 3, which is a bad film, it wasn't formulaic. They did something new.
What was the new thing they did in 3?
Define what you mean by new, though, because I'm going to say something and you're just going to go, no,
go on, what are you going to say?
I'm going to say like the stuff like having mutants lose their powers. They hadn't done that in the other 2 X-Men films. That was a new thing.
Okay.
They introduced Magneto's large group of supervillains instead of being just the... Because in the X1 and 2, he's in like a team of 5.
Yeah.
In X3, he has an army.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's different. Even though it was bad, they kill off Scott Summers.
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, I'm agreeing.
Okay.
These are things that don't make it formulaic.
Yeah, so there we go. So from past experience, we've seen them not be particularly formulaic.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I have faith that this won't be formulaic.
Okay. I also feel like Oscar Isaacs is going to be wasted in it. Like, he's so good that seeing him play Apocalypse, like in the trailers, I'm not sold on it at all.
I think that's because they're trying to keep most of the Apocalypse stuff under wraps.
I hope so.
I think it is. Apocalypse is going to be a big part of this film.
Yeah.
He's like one of the most interesting Marvel villains.
He's in the title. The other thing that really annoyed me about the trailer was the ending with the hashtags, and it was like, pick your superpower or some bullshit, and it was clearly them trying to copy the Civil War like hashtag thing, where it's like choose your side, hashtag Team Cap or Team Iron Man. Now for Civil War, I totally get that. Like, people would have seen movies with those characters in before, and they were like, right, I'm Team Iron Man. You kind of get a feel for what their ideals are from the trailers. Equally, you might just be like, I really like Iron Man, so I'm going to be his team anyway. With this, it's like, one of the hashtags was for Apocalypse, who we've only ever seen in trailers. It's like, it was just so dumb. It was so dumb.
You've got to remember as well, like, I agree with you. I think that the hashtag stuff's stupid, but to be fair, Apocalypse is big. Like,
yeah, I know, but I feel like hashtag fuck off.
That's probably more for, like, because a lot of the comic book a lot of people that read comic book, like, X-Men's one of the most popular comic book series. So there are a lot of people who know who Apocalypse is.
Yeah, but are they going to be hashtagging it?
But I agree with you. I think the hashtags are stupid.
They are stupid.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying, you know, like you say, because I say that I don't think it makes sense for Civil War either, because even though people have seen them before, like, the characters haven't made their points in the film yet. So
but we already know where they're coming from the trailers.
Yeah, but what if you go into a film and you're like, what if you go in and they have like twists and shit, and you're like, I'm Captain America, and then you go in and you're like, whoa, Captain America's a dick in this film.
Then that would be bad marketing, right?
I think it's just bad marketing anyway.
Probably.
The hashtag thing.
I think this entire trailer was bad marketing. I didn't need to see it.
Okay, well, you're in a bad mood,
Apocalypse.
so I'm annoyed.
No, honestly, I think at the moment they're doing too many trailers. They're giving away too much. Buddy. Yeah, after Batman vs Superman, you cannot disagree with that point. They movie studios are starting to give away too much in the trailers.
Yes, and no, I 100% agree.
I would prefer if we had less trailers. Like I said, the trailer we had before, the music they used for it and the way they constructed that trailer was a lot more interesting than this, which was just your bog standard generic sort of trailer with lots of loud noises.
Yeah, what I think we need is more J.J. Abrams style movie leading.
Where it's just like, boom, here's the movie.
Yeah, they keep it all under wraps. There's lots of misdirection with the way they're doing stuff. And then when you go and see the film, you're like, wow, I did not think that was going to happen based on what I saw.
Do you know what I would like even more than that? If they shot footage specifically for the trailers. I think like Trainspotting did it.
But the issue with that is like as much as we disagree with the way trailers are done, it would also and it does annoy. You see when a trailer has like a scene that gets cut later on.
No, but I'm not saying like they do scenes that aren't in the movie at all. I'm saying that the entire trailer is scripted and presented in a way that it's how do I describe this in a way that will make sense to your brain?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like it's deliberately made to be a trailer. It isn't made to showcase parts of the movie or anything.
Yes, so in a similar vein to the way that they did those like Deadpool shorts.
Yes, exactly.
But like not necessarily exactly that, but yes, that kind of thing where you've got Deadpool just talking to the audience effectively.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Like again, Trainspotting did it really well. That has happened in a little bit in the past, but I guess it's expensive to do because it's a load more stuff you have to make. Mm-hmm. But I would prefer to see that and less trailers that show every fucking thing that happened in the movie.
Fair enough.
Any other trailers?
No.
So the other thing in Nerd News.
I mean, there probably have been other trailers, but we didn't watch them.
They weren't important. The other thing that happened in Nerd News this week, Game of Thrones has returned.
Way.
Season 6, Episode 1. We're in uncharted territory now.
When you guys are hearing this, the next episode will be playing today.
Yeah. Now, don't worry, don't panic yourselves. We're not going to give away spoilers. We're not dicks.
We aren't.
I liked it. I thought it was fine. 3 out of 5.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
It's nice seeing the characters back again. It's doing that thing where it's getting the story moving, but we're not really kind of chugging along yet. Because Game of Thrones, I do find it does tend to take like 2 episodes or so to just get things going.
It's because, listeners, what we've got is like how Liam was trying to say that things go over my head and stuff. Liam's brain only works if he's being given non-stop action and surprises. Yeah. Whereas I can actually appreciate and understand nuances and story arcs. I get that. Liam,
that's lost on me. It's like how any sort of allegorical meaning I just think is pointless and detracts from the movie because it's just too much thinking. Is that it for Nerd News? Do we need to go into Game of Thrones more? Or
no, I think we can leave it at that. Culture swap.
Swap my culture.
Hey listeners, we've realised something. Well, we were told it by someone.
Cat
told us. And it's a little bit embarrassing that we hadn't thought of it before, quite frankly. We tell you to piss off if you haven't listened or watched what we're going to talk about. And Kat pointed out to us that if you then go and piss off, you don't actually find out what we're going to be doing the week after.
Yeah.
So we're going to change it up slightly. So this time, we're going to tell you, and from now on, we'll be telling you what we're doing in the next show before we do spoilers for whatever we did this time.
Okay, that sounds smart.
Yeah, thank you for telling us that, Kat. You are smarter than us.
Right, on the next episode of Nerd on Nerd, we are going to have a very special guest. Who is it? I don't know. Maybe Jack can tell us.
Some of you who've watched us do Blabs may remember our guest as the gentleman who came on and ran a little game show for us. And that person is Dan Palmer, one of my childhood friends.
So, listen in next time for, I'm sure, lots of gossip on Jack as a child.
Probably not. I don't think I was very interesting as a child.
Not a lot changed then.
Yep.
And what's the thing we're going to do?
Dan is quite the connoisseur of cartoons. So next time we're doing a 90s cartoon called Ren and Stimpy, which I have seen bits of before as a kid, but have never properly watched.
I've never watched it. I didn't have Cartoon Network as a kid, and I think that's the sort of shit it was on.
I think it was on Nickelodeon.
I didn't have that either.
Yeah,
I had your 4, maybe 5 normal channels, and that was it.
I think it must have run on other stuff because I didn't have any networky channels as a kid either.
Maybe you saw it at a friend's house.
Yeah, possibly actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go, listeners. So if you're going to go away when we start talking about The Division, next time we'll be talking about Ren and Stimpy with a special guest.
Yeah.
Yay!
So we're about to talk about The Division now, but before that, any correspondence this week from our lovely listeners?
Yes! One of our fellow podcasts, 365 Flicks podcast, asked us about the Game of Thrones premiere. So we've done that for them. There we go.
So, time for what you've been waiting for, probably not. The Division.
Yeah.
Tom Clancy. What other games has he done? Because I don't
Rainbow
have.
Six.
I haven't played that.
Splinter Cell.
Haven't played that.
Jesus Christ. He had that game about flying a plane.
Haven't played that.
Okay.
So I'm new to Tom Clancy, I think.
Well, this isn't a traditional Tom Clancy game.
So Tom Clancy's The Division, right?
Yes.
It's a game on PlayStation.
Yep.
Not as much maths as you might suspect.
That's a terrible joke. Oh, Liam. It took me a second as well as the embarrassing thing. I was like, what? Yeah, so listeners, we played this. We agreed, because we'd both played a little bit before.
Yeah.
But we agreed we'd start new characters.
And play together. Because,
yeah.
It's an MMORPG type of game. It's like...
No, it's not an MMORPG, it's an MMO FPS, I guess.
Yeah. It's like the kissing cousin of Destiny.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult to talk about this game without comparing it to Destiny.
So that is our mission.
Really?
No.
I'm sort of relying on comparing it to Destiny.
Okay, so there aren't so much like classes really. Like there kind of are, but like the way we played it was a moot point because you refused to play as your class. So
listeners, Liam refuses to understand how the Division works in that there are 3 primary
classes,
like tiers of skills you can take.
Healer.
Each one of them is themed to a different
DPS.
Role. So security,
there's
the security tree, the support tree, and is it called medic?
Yeah.
Medic tree. The medic, obviously focuses on having healing abilities, and it's got a thing that shows up enemies.
So I think people that have played MMOs before would know this as the healer, the DPS, and the tank.
Yeah, but that isn't what they are.
Okay.
Because the security one was the DPS. The support was more like the witch doctor in WoW.
What, the shaman?
Yeah, that's what I mean. The shaman. Yeah, it's more support and summoner. It has turrets. It's not about DPS because none of the abilities boost your damage. The security has all the damage boosting abilities.
So where's the tank then?
There isn't one. Fuck's sake. I had real hope for a second there when you went, yeah, so it's not like traditional in that there are classes. I had so much hope. I was like, oh, maybe Liam actually learnt before we did the episode. Maybe Liam figured it out. And then, fuck you, did you? No.
No.
I hate you.
So
I'm going to leave that bit in, my mental breakdown.
So, Destiny, right? Let's compare it to Destiny. With Destiny,
we're talking about the classes.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the Destiny classes. Okay. So,
go on.
With the Destiny classes, you have the Titan.
Yes.
Which is like the tank. Do you have a healer class in Destiny? Not really.
No.
So that's where there's a big difference, really. In this one, you don't have a tank. And in Destiny, you don't have a healer. That's a big difference. Yeah,
but again, with the thing with MMO FPS games is that it's not as clear-cut as that.
No, it's a bit...
Because the whole point of like an MMO is you are meant to have a group that's built of, varying roles.
Yeah, it helps.
Both of these games, Destiny and The Division, because Destiny had the subclass option.
Yeah.
And you could specialise into totally like different things. So the way I view them is there are roles to fill, but it's not the 3 clear-cut roles.
Yeah.
It's more about complementing the people you're with.
But anytime I said you looked good, it didn't help us take the boss down.
Yeah, but I did look fucking good. That is something we need to talk about.
Okay.
The Division has clothes that you can wear that give you no bonuses, but make you look fancy as fuck.
Yeah, but they did not help us take the boss down.
I feel like there were a couple of moments that he was distracted by my brilliance.
Okay.
I'm sure he looked at that orange coat and he was like, this guy, he's the one.
Yeah.
But anyway, going on with your point of the Destiny classes
and
the Division classes.
Yes.
I think, so we didn't necessarily play it, because with only 2 of you, you haven't got that. I think the max team was 4.
Something like that.
And I feel like if you have that, you could have, someone doing... So you take someone with that sensor ability that lets you pick up enemies, right?
Yeah.
You maybe give him the other healing ability or something else, like a sticky bomb, whatever. Yeah. I'm sure you can do it totally different ways, and there are probably people that are doing...
Well, it is worth pointing out that you can dip in between classes. It's not like once you're medic, you're committed to just those options. When you unlock an ability by spending resources at your base of operations, which is individual to you, you just unlock that skill, and there's no like fixed
when you put the equivalent of a skill point into unlocking something and actually putting it on your character, you can just switch that out at any time for any of the other ones you've bought.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more fluid, and I feel like, we could have benefited from switching stuff on the fly.
Probably.
But I was super addicted to putting down turrets.
Yeah, you were all about the turrets.
I love that turret.
I quite like the pulse. I feel like my medic ability saved us on more than one occasion.
It did. To be fair, your that support station thing was pretty good.
Yeah. And then when I swapped out the pulse for the sticky bomb, I had some fun, but not as much fun as I had on my one player because of the sticky bomb. My gear wasn't kind of
you weren't
equipped.
speccing into doing sticky bomb damage.
Yeah, so it wasn't taking out enemies in one hit like my single player character did.
Yeah, so we should probably explain that when you put on gear in Division, it gives you a certain amount of points into each of the 3 classes, effectively.
Yeah.
And one of them specifically boosts your skill damage or your skill effects. One of them does sidearm damage, which is next to useless. And one of them does your max health.
Yeah.
So that's,
So, tell me, Jack.
Yes.
Why are we going around and shooting all these people and, what's the story?
Well, the story is there's been an outbreak of some virus that's being spread through money, and it's wiped out a lot of the population of New York. And of course, as soon as that happens, all of the rioters start rioting, and people with flamethrowers appear, obviously. So we're trying to fix it. We're the Division.
And, we did quite a good job, I think.
Liam insisted on cleaning up New York in interesting ways. Whereas I was very much, let's clear up New York by taking out the bad guys. Liam was very much, let's clear up New York because they appear to have left loot everywhere and we should get all of it.
Yeah.
Which, it worked in some situations. It was frustrating in others.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there were a couple of times where we were in a mission that probably should have taken 20 minutes and ended up taking us 40.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
No, it is. Yeah. What do you think of the graphics?
Yeah, well, this is your big issue, isn't it? Or one of your big issues.
It's not a big issue. I just found the environment to be quite grey and drab.
You weren't a fan of the style they'd gone for?
No, it wasn't the style so much. It had really nice lighting effects, but, to me, the graphics were nothing to write home about. The visuals, the aesthetics, it was just...
Yeah, I don't know if you mean graphics, though.
I mean, all of it.
Do you actually mean graphic quality?
Everything I looked at with my eyes.
Because
also,
when you were complaining to me about graphics before, the stuff you were saying was all aesthetic stuff and not the graphics.
The graphics are fine, but they're nothing to write home. So with a PlayStation 4, I've seen better looking games.
Yeah, okay, I'd agree with that.
I think Destiny is better looking, personally.
I don't think I agree on that one particularly.
Yep.
Liam, let's boil this down. What did you enjoy about The Division?
The Dark Zone.
Yes.
That was really good.
The Dark Zone was very good. It's an interesting idea.
So let us explain the Dark Zone for anyone that maybe is unaware of the Dark Zone. Basically, in The Division, you have the city of New York that you're rebuilding, and it's kind of broken up into areas with levels. So as you progress through the game, you can kind of figure out where you should and shouldn't be. Now, the Dark Zone opens up at... I think you go to at any time, but the level recommended for you is it 10 to 14?
Yeah, the first area was 10 to 14.
So once you hit then, you can go into it, and basically, this is kind of like the Division's PvP of a sort. There's also computer enemies there too.
Yeah.
And what happens is you go into the Dark Zone, and if you shoot another player, which you can do, and you can take their loot, you would also become rogue, and other players would be alerted to what you've done. Now, you can also just shoot normal computer characters and take their loot, but then what you need to do is you need to extract that loot from the Dark Zone. And I think it's such a tense experience because you never know who you can really trust. You're always looking over your shoulder sort of thing. It's just far and away superior to the rest of the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, do you want to tell the people about our horrible experience?
Yeah, go on then.
Do you want to, or shall I?
You do it.
So, I mean, we went in there once under-leveled. We went in at, I think, level 8 or 9.
Yeah. I mean, we did a little bit, but it wasn't very good.
Yeah, we got killed a lot, and there weren't any players there because we weren't in a level range that other players were in, was the issue.
Which definitely helped us in not getting killed
so we went off. Oh, yeah, 100%. But so we went off, we leveled, we got to level 12, and we were like, let's go back to the Dark Zone. And we went in, and we saw players, and we were like, oh, that's interesting. We had a couple that were rogue that tried to kill us. We had, some ones that sort of walked past us. It was all very stressful. But we got some loot, and we headed to the extraction zone. And me being a very trusting fellow, we saw 4, would you say, Liam? 4 other players, maybe?
Yep.
They were calling in an extraction.
And they all looked like they were cooperating.
They did. Everyone was being very friendly. I threw a salute. No one saluted back, but I didn't take it as an offensive thing. I just said, hey, they probably didn't notice. It's fine. As we were going to put our loot on the rope, 2 of them immediately bombed everyone and then slaughtered the rest of us like we were mindless sheep. And I think I sat in silence for a good couple of minutes.
I just kept saying it was all a ruse. It was a cunning ruse.
You did. We were both emotionally shocked, I think, by what had happened.
I very quickly wanted blood and vengeance.
And I joined you in that lust for vengeance.
Eventually. You took a bit of persuading.
No, at the beginning. No. At the beginning, I joined you in your lust for vengeance. It was later on that I lost my thirst for it as we kept repeatedly being killed by the same 2 people who were 2 levels lower than us, Liam. I don't understand it.
My thirst for vengeance was not satiated.
It wasn't. We got into a little bit of a war with these 2 fellows. We nearly killed them a couple of times.
We did kill them a couple of times.
We took one of them down. Oh, yeah, we did take one of them down once. But we never killed both of them at the same time, did we?
That's probably where we went wrong.
I mean, we'd get one down, kill him, and then the other one would kill us. But Liam then insisted that we had to keep killing them.
For the greater good.
After we'd got that kill, I was like, I think we're done with it, Liam. I think we need to go get loot. I think we tried maybe 2 more times before I finally convinced Liam that we'd just go round them.
Yeah.
And in the end, we did get, after that betrayal, and, immediately after that, stopping trusting anyone in that game, we got some items.
Yeah, from the dark zone.
It was fun. But that really revealed to me that I can never trust anyone in my life ever again.
No. And I think that's a good lesson to have learned, really.
Yeah, if I take anything away from the Division, I hope it's that I can't trust people.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Anything else about the Division that you liked or didn't like?
Well, I didn't mind the actual main stuff.
Yeah.
I was more a fan of the Division than you were.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not necessarily true, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I really like my single-player character, and playing a Division on my own.
But that's weird. Like you say, it's not a single-player game.
No, it's not. I think we have very different play styles.
We do.
And I struggled with yours.
I also struggled with yours.
Yeah, but equally, mine, you can kind of let that happen. But yours was just, we need to continue and just do the missions. And it's like,
you say I can let yours happen, but what happened?
But if I go off to go exploring and you're like, I'm just going to do the mission, then I miss out on having the mission done. So I kind of have to stop exploring and come along.
If I carried on doing objectives, it did them for you too. There were a couple of missions where you skipped
freeloading.
a whole chunk of the mission while you were trying to get loot, and I completed half the mission for you.
Yeah, that's freeloading. I don't like doing that.
Yeah, so listeners, the issue was, and I'm not saying your way's wrong or my way's wrong.
No, but both ways are viable.
Yeah, Liam really likes exploring every nook and cranny.
Yeah. I like being quite adventurous as well. There was definitely some instances where I was like, we should go into this area. And you were like, oh no, it's too high for us, I don't want to. It's like, well, okay then.
Yeah, like when we went to the Dark Zone and got killed the first time.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that sort of stuff. I like...
Oh yeah, no, it was fun. I don't disagree, it's fun. I was just like, we're trying to review this for the fans. I feel like we should be trying to actually... on my single player one, I'd be a lot more up for going and doing that stuff. It was just the fact that I was very aware that we were on a time limit. We had 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah.
But I still do play a lot differently than you. Even when I would, even if I wasn't doing that, I still would have been playing a lot differently to you.
What would you say the differences are? So
you're very much into exploring everything.
Yeah.
If there's a room on the map that Liam hasn't been in, Liam has to go and see it to make sure there's nothing in it.
Well, people created that room, right? They probably spent a lot of time and effort building that room.
The thing is, they probably did.
Putting things inside the room, bug testing the room.
Although, I feel like overall, there were more empty rooms than there were rooms with stuff in them.
Well, if every room had stuff in it, it would be mental.
Because I do remember distinctly, eventually, because I'm not saying, because Liam found stuff. There were times where Liam found us a crate of blue items in it, which are
good stuff.
Yeah, which was the decent gear. Yeah. But the issue was that most of the time that happens outside of missions. There were times that it was in a mission.
Yes, there were.
There was a couple. Yes. Usually, though, the mission gives you the blue stuff when you finish it, and the boss drops it, or it's in a crate behind the boss.
Yeah, but having more blue stuff's never bad.
No, you're right. But what Liam does is does it to the point where he nearly dies repeatedly. So the memorable example of that would be there was a mission where we beat the boss, and there were quite a few rooms on that map. So Liam said, I'm going to go check, see if there's any loot. I said, fine, I'm going to go wait for you in the elevator. Now, at the end of that mission, the building you're in sets on fire, and you are told in no short terms to get out of the building, because it's all going to explode and it's all on fire.
But there were unexplored rooms.
There were. So I stood in the elevator, and my screen slowly got more orange. It was getting more and more orange. And then Liam suddenly said to me, the room is on fire. And I said, well, I'm going to go then. So I just pressed the elevator button and left.
Teamwork.
I can't help you if you're on fire in a burning building that we've been told to leave. You didn't die, to your credit.
No, I used all my medkits.
You used all your medkits and had to put down your aid station to heal yourself as you ran to the elevator.
Yes.
But yes, that was an example of where Liam's exploration failed him.
Yeah, but a lot of times it didn't.
No, a lot of times it didn't.
But I think the lack of classes, and maybe this is just a problem that you're going to get with MMO FPSs, is detrimental to the game. Because, may I tell a short story, Jack?
Yes, Liam.
One of my favourite ever MMO experiences, was playing World of Warcraft, and I have a friend who's massively into his MMOs, and we had characters on the same World of Warcraft server, and we both decided to roll druids. And the idea was, all we wanted to do was just for the fun of it, see how much we could two-man without anyone's help.
Okay.
And there's a dungeon quite early on in World of Warcraft. I think it's like level 14, called the Dead Mines. It's one of the first dungeons you ever go to.
Okay.
So it's meant for 5 players. At level 14, it's meant for 5 players. We tried to two-man it. Now, with another 3 players, you could have probably got through that dungeon in maybe 40 minutes tops. We were there for 4 hours, just working our way through it. We finally get to the boss, okay? And, it's been a struggle. There's been a few deaths along the way, but we get there. And what's good about the druid is it's flexible. You can change its class, essentially, so you can go from tank to healer.
Okay.
We get to the final boss. It probably takes us an hour of he'll go into the tank form, I'll heal. When my mana runs out, we'd swap round. I'd jump into the tank form, taunt the boss, he'd heal. It took us an hour to just take this boss down, just the 2 of us. But we did it, and, we could have easily done it with a group, and it wouldn't take half as much time. But that is one of my very favourite gaming memories ever, just because that sense of achievement of the 2 of us doing it together. And I think with something like Destiny or The Division, where you don't have those classes, it's a lot harder to have those kind of experiences where you're kind of pushing what you can do within the game.
Okay, well, so from my perspective, right, I'm not the biggest fan of these sort of games. As much as I liked The Division, I'm very put off by MMOs in general. Like, I just don't have the kind of brain that gets hooked on them.
Yeah, because I guess the kind of brain is basically I need the better loot sort of constantly.
Yeah, which I like getting better loot, but I prefer a story.
Yeah.
Right? So, so from coming from that perspective, from what I've seen of people doing, and so listeners, we didn't get to the point, obviously, in 2 weeks. Well, I guess if we'd played like non-stop, we could have. But raids have been introduced to Destiny, which are effectively...
The Division.
Shit. Division. Yep. But yeah, so raids have been introduced, which are effectively the dungeons, or are they called raids in World of Warcraft?
Yeah, no, you get raids as well.
Oh, okay, so yeah, they're just called raids. But
there's also a raid in Destiny. Yes, don't forget.
I think there might be 2 or 3 now.
Yeah, me and my same friend, tried the Vault of Glass 2-man. It went terribly.
Yeah,
we died on
but that's what I'm saying, right? Is that I've seen videos on the gaming sites of people doing specific runs of the Vault of Glass and stuff in Destiny.
Yeah.
So I think you can get it, because I think you're worrying too much about the class, or not worrying about it.
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm just saying,
like, the wrong word. I think you're too fixated on it. Maybe I'm trying to think of a word that's not horribly negative.
I wouldn't even say fixated. Like, I prefer the way the class system works in Destiny to The Division. I think because here's the thing: because with The Division, like you were saying, you can swap between classes so fluidly and easily. It doesn't kind of choosing a class doesn't really have an impact on how you play the game. Whereas with Destiny, you choose your class at the start and you can't swap that. And depending on what class you choose, will affect how you play the game somewhat.
Yeah, but
with The Division, the class is irrelevant pretty much, because you can just swap to whatever you want at any time.
Yeah, but this is the thing, right? So it's irrelevant in the fact that there's not a choice of what class you're going to be, but there are choices in how you play based on like what weapon you've got, what skills you've taken.
Yeah.
So whilst yes, there is no class choice, people are going to naturally find themselves drawn to certain things.
Here's the thing, I don't often play as a sniper because I don't like it, and I'm not very good at it. But it almost feels like with The Division, it really punishes you if you try and do close combat,
yeah,
like
but
shotguns.
I don't think.
Like, I love, like, so for example in Destiny I was the Titan, which is all about just storming in. Like, that's a lot of melee damage. That's my playstyle. So I was trying a different playstyle with the snipers and stuff once it became very clear in The Division that close range, forget it.
I disagree though, because at the end I had that submachine gun.
Yeah, which you can still keep a bit of distance.
No, but I was running in. You do have to keep some distance, but that's because the game's tactical and not... Like, because Destiny's very forgiving in that you can stand in a hail of fire and you've got a shield and it's fine. Because it's meant to be. It's made by the people that made Halo.
Yeah.
Which is also that sort of thing. You know, apart from ODST. The whole point is you're a superhuman. Division is you're meant to be people.
Who made The Division? What else have they made? Possibly.
It's Ubisoft. It's Ubisoft.
Oh, yeah. They didn't they do Tony Hawk's?
Yeah, they also did Assassin's Creed. There's a lot of different like subdivisions of Ubisoft.
So one thing that did bother me about The Division, I eventually got used to it, but it bothered me at the start for a while, is everywhere on the screen it's that there's button prompts. So you go up against a wall and you've got the button prompt for crouching. And I get, like, for the tutorial, fine. But by, like, we played for, I think, 11 hours by the end, I'd kind of figured out what walls I couldn't crouch behind, and having the X appear all the time was super annoying.
I thought you meant I thought you were saying actual crouching, and I was like, I didn't have that, but I see what you mean, getting into cover and stuff.
Yeah, into cover. And equally, like, the circle would appear for anything you could climb onto.
Yeah, but I don't think it wasn't particularly intrusive.
It just bothered me. I didn't need it, and I wish there was a way to turn it off. That's all I was asking for.
That's fair enough. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. You know, if people want it, fair play. I'm all about options at the end of the day. And other things. Movies.
Yeah.
Other games.
Become quite apparent.
I think the other thing as well, I played a lot of Uncharted recently, and obviously that is all about exploring.
Yeah.
So maybe that kind of trickled into my Destiny, my Division experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the Dark Zone stuff felt like it almost came from another game. It was so much better.
The Dark Zone is really interesting. It's a really cool idea.
And I am curious how raids work,
yeah.
But I can't see either of us committing to get into like max level to then try.
I think I'm going to carry on playing.
If you get to max level, I'll probably be there waiting. But until then, I ain't going to hold my breath.
We'll see.
But the other thing is, I wonder if missions scale difficulty to how many people there are, because I have yet to struggle at all in my single player guide.
I think they probably do.
And I've done the same missions that we've done, that we struggled with, and I was like, nah, I got this, I got my sticky bomb, boom, job done.
Yeah, I think it probably does scale the difficulty based on number of players.
I wonder if it also scales the reward then.
I know it does for, if you put it on the challenge difficulty, you get better stuff.
Yeah, but that, again, I think you meant to do at max level.
Yeah. Or at least a higher level, it definitely seemed.
So, are you going to stick to your single character, or continue with your character?
I'll probably play both of them, to be fair.
Okay.
Because, I mean, there's not much difference, except the one that I played with you is a higher level.
Yeah. My character that I played with you does look better than my single character.
Liam's character was exceptional. It was a work of art.
It really was.
He looked like he belonged in a Japanese anime.
Yeah. But my main character, I've actually managed to make look quite a lot like me, so just out of vanity, I'll probably stick with him.
That's fair enough.
He's a sexy-looking guy.
I do prefer the clothes that my character I have with you has.
I think the clothes are across characters.
Are they?
I think so.
Sweet.
If not, just stick him in the player stash.
That's true.
Now, that's another thing that I was thinking about. When you extract stuff from the Dark Zone, it goes into your player stash, so you could be extracting stuff for your other characters.
Yeah. But they do have they have level caps on the weapons?
Right, I'm saying, when you get an item from the Dark Zone, that should be tied to the character you got the item from.
Oh, okay.
You shouldn't be able to swap the items between your characters, because I feel like the Dark Zone's so good that, like you said, I wouldn't want to go in there, get a load of good shit, and then, even though there's still levels on it, pass it off to someone that hasn't gone into the Dark Zone.
But it's your character that you're passing it off to. I
would prefer them to be, like, the items you get to be constricted to the character you got them with in the Dark Zone.
Okay, I disagree.
Well, that's the thing about Nerd on Nerd.
Is that we don't agree on anything?
Yeah. No, we agree on some things.
Yeah, we do agree on certain things. People in cinemas being dicks.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, you've been listening to Nerd on Nerd, discussing The Division, available on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, maybe?
Yeah, it is on PC as well, yeah.
Next week, as you might remember, but we'll just remind you, we're doing Ren and Stimpy, as suggested by our very special guest.
Yeah, the first 6 episodes.
Yeah, so if you'd like to play along, email us your thoughts. Like, maybe you've got, like, some fond, nostalgic memories of Ren and Stimpy that you could kind of message over to us. You've been listening to the Nerd on Nerd podcast with me, Liam Underwood.
And me, Jack Kempster.
Thank you for listening. If you would like to rate and review us on iTunes, 5 stars, that's pretty good. 4 stars, also good. 3 stars,
we'll accept it, but...
Yeah, but like anything less, don't bother. And leave a little review, just saying how good we are. That will just help our egos, really.
His ego.
You can follow us on Twitter, @NerdOnNerd. And we've been saying to you for a while now, you should email us. Here's how. You just open up your email browser. Maybe you're old school, Hotmail. Maybe you're one of those new kids, Gmail. Maybe you're just weird and you have like Yahoo or something. I don't know. I'm not going to judge. And then you type new to create like a new message. And under 2, put nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. Subject, doesn't matter. I mean, we get so few emails come in, we'll see it anyway. And then in like the body, just type your message and we'll read it probably on the next one. If it's a good message, if you ask us questions or, want to confess to us anything, we might even send you a little personalised email response as a treat. That's kind of how emails work. So you can do that. Otherwise, we also have a Facebook page. So you can find us on Facebook. If you just type in Nerd on Nerd, it's bound to come up. And stay tuned, because soon-ish, we're going to have a YouTube channel. And you're going to have these episodes on YouTube. There'll be nothing extra. It'll just be these episodes with like a normal box standard image. But we might also have new content, like Nerd on Nerd plays Dungeons and Dragons, for example.
Yep.
So, if you follow our Facebook and our Twitter, then regardless of which one we post it to, you're bound to find the link. So, do that. And otherwise, stay safe. Have a good couple of weeks. And hopefully you enjoyed this. And we'll see you again. Now, quickly, Jack, what would you give The Division out of 5?
The Division gets a 4 out of 5. Liam, you?
3.
Bye.
Bye.